One of the most painful conversations I have in my clinic is one where a family sits down and says, "We thought it was just aging. We didn't know." And I have to tell them, the signs were there, we just didn't catch them in time. I don't want that to be your family's story. So today I'm going to tell you exactly what those early signs look like from someone who's had this conversation more times than I can count. The first thing is to understand that early dementia does not look like what you see in movies. It's subtle. It's easy to explain away, and that's exactly why it gets missed. And here's what to actually look for. The first sign is memory loss that disrupts daily life. Not occasionally, not forgetting where you put your keys. Everyone does that. I'm talking about forgetting important dates or events, asking the same multiple questions over and over in the same conversation, relying on reminders or family members for things they used to handle completely on their own. The second sign is difficulty with familiar tasks. Someone who has cooked the same recipe for 40 years suddenly can't follow the steps. A person who managed the household bills for decades is now confused by the checkbook. When routine tasks become genuinely hard, that's worth noting. The third sign is confusion about time and place. Not knowing what day it is occasionally is normal, but losing track of seasons, years, or how they got somewhere, or forgetting where they are going for a moment, that's different. The fourth sign is trouble finding words. We all have this tip-of-the-tongue moments, but when someone stops mid-sentence and can't find words, starts calling familiar objects by the wrong names, or withdraws from conversations because they're struggling to keep up, that's a clinical red flag. The fifth sign is changes in judgment. This one gets missed consistently. Making unusual financial decisions, being taken advantage of by scammers, poor hygiene that's new, uncharacteristic choices in dress, diet, or safety. The brain that handles judgment is often affected early. The sixth sign is withdrawal from social activities. When someone who has always been engaged starts pulling back from hobbies, church, family gatherings, friends, they really can't explain why. Sometimes the brain is quietly avoiding situations where the deficits might show. The seventh sign is mood and personality changes. Increased anxiety, suspicion toward people they've trusted for years, sudden irritability or sadness, seeming unlike themselves in a way that's persistent and is new. And here's what I want you to take away from this. You are not diagnosing your loved one. That's my job. Your job is to notice, to write down, to bring it up at the appointment instead of waiting for something to come up on its own. Because here's the truth about dementia. We can't reverse it, but we can slow it. We can plan. We can make decisions while the person still has a voice in these decisions, but only if we catch it early enough. If you're seeing 2 or 3 of these signs in someone you love, make the appointment. Bring your notes. Advocate for a cognitive evaluation. Don't let anyone dismiss you by saying it's just getting older. It might be, but it might not be. And the only way to know is to ask. Subscribe to Kevin Davis Health. This is the kind of conversation I have every week in my clinic. Now I'm having it here too. Share this with someone who needs to hear it.